Hey everybody, welcome back to the Raising Special Kids Quick Connect Facebook Live series. I'm Brittany Miller and I'm super excited to be hosting today. Welcome for those just jumping on. We're doing a great, really informative topic today that we always get questions about at Raising Special Kids. So welcome to Quick Connect. Let's get started. So, many families reach out to Raising Special Kids that have teens or young adults with disabilities or even adults that want to work and they need support in gaining employment, learning those job skills, finding a job. Maybe they need long-term supports or ongoing help on the job, but they don't know where to start. Thankfully, there are agencies in our state that have programs and services specifically for this need. So we're going to talk about them today. Today we're going to discuss vocational rehabilitation and the Division of Developmental Disabilities, or DDD, employment services and how they work together. Also, as I'm talking, I'm going to be sharing a lot of links. And so moving forward, you'll notice there's a pinned comment on this Facebook Live. We have a link there, and we're going to put all of our links that we discussed today in resources. So we're going to be doing that for all of our Quick Connects. So that way you can download that document and have that to refer to later. So we hope that's helpful for our community. Okay, first off, Arizona is a employment first state. And basically what this means is we have a vision and mindset that the preferred outcome for individuals with disabilities is to be able to join the workforce first and to have programs and services available to help them. This initiative was actually signed by the governor's office several years ago. And because of this, Arizona has worked very hard to instill programs to help individuals with disabilities find employment and give them the help they need to achieve their career goals. So let's talk about vocational rehabilitation first. It's a little complex, I admit. There's a lot of services and supports, and it can be confusing for families. So I hope as we go through this today, it will help clarify things and get you guys some resources to help your young people, your teenagers and young adults, find a job and gain those skills necessary to achieve that. So I have my notes here. Let's get to it. First off, what is vocational rehabilitation? The Arizona Rehabilitation Services Administration, or RSA, they oversee programs designed to help individuals with disabilities who are eligible gain employment. And so vocational rehabilitation is under that. They provide services and assistance to individuals with disabilities who qualify to meet their employment goals. They provide training for people 14 and up who have disabilities to help them make career goals, help them figure out what kind of job they want to do, and be competitively employed in the community. Now we're going to go over the details on what a lot of those services are, but that is just the general overview and definition of vocational rehab, or VR, which I may say VR as we go throughout this. So how does one become eligible? So you may be eligible for VR services if you meet the following criteria. You have a physical or mental impairment. Your physical or mental impairment constitutes or results in a substantial impediment to employment. You require vocational rehab services in order to prepare for, secure, retain, or regain employment. And you could benefit from the provision of vocational rehab services in achieving your employment goals and outcomes. So, what do you need to do if you'd like to apply? There is a link online where you can put in an application, or you can help your young person fill out that application, and the link is in that document. If your child is a DDD All-Text member, their support coordinator or their employment services specialist with DDD can also help put in that application. Something to note that's really important: you do not have to be a DDD Arizona Long-Term Care member to take advantage of services through vocational rehab, but you do have to be a DDD All-Text member to take advantage of the employment services through DDD. So I wanted to make sure I clarified that before we move forward. There is a wonderful resource directly from VR that gives you tips on how to make the most out of your vocational rehab experience. I hope you check out that link that we share. So what is the process like, and what possible services are there with VR? So first, they encourage you to attend an information session at a VR office near you. They're offered monthly in a group setting, although one-on-one meetings can be requested. Next, you would attend a VR orientation appointment. Make sure to bring your Social Security card and one other form of identification, and any supporting medical documents to verify your disability. You'll have an application and intake and meet with a VR counselor. and they'll have you sign the application and get all that, documentation and paperwork done. They will determine eligibility. So if they need anything else to verify your disability or they feel like further evaluations are needed, VR may ask you to complete those. So please do that so things can move forward. Then you will write your work plan. So they really want the individual to participate in this. So yes, those of us who are parents who have teens and young adults with disabilities, we can help them apply, be part of this process, but they really want it to come from that individual and have them want to go, want to participate, want to share what their career goals and dreams are. And if they don't know what those are, that's okay. The VR counselors are trained to help them identify career goals and what they should do. Some of the planned services that can be involved in an individual's vocational rehab plan are job readiness training, job coaching, psychological counseling, on-the-job training, career exploration, post-secondary education, vocational counseling, disability-related skills training, pre-employment transition services for our youth, and more. So they do a lot of things, and it's very individualized. So every person's, VR plan will be individualized to their needs. So once you're in this program, what are some of the responsibilities that you're required to fulfill if you would like to get help from VR? Stay in contact with your VR counselor once a month, attend the appointments you have scheduled with them, apply for jobs, go to the interviews, take advantage of the services and show up for what VR is approved for you to have so it can prepare you for employment, and then you'll get hired. That's the end goal, right? And so all of these steps and processes are in place for individuals with disabilities to find a job, retain and gain employment. And there's a lot of helpful programs and services they offer. So please check out our pinned comment. Check out the links if you'd like to apply or help your young adult apply. So there's also a really great roadmap that we'd like to share as well that kind of talks you through each step. And some people really like visual aids, so make sure to check that out too. Okay, so we've given you a general overview of vocational rehab. Now let's talk about the Division of Developmental Disabilities. How do they provide employment support? What can DDD do? So the member's DDD support coordinator and employment services specialist can help them explore or identify an appropriate job based on their work experience, education, abilities, interests. They can also help find employment in the community and provide ongoing support once they've completed vocational rehabilitation. A DDD support coordinator or employment services specialist can also put in that referral to VR if the member is interested and hasn't done that yet. So what are some of the things that a DDD employment services specialist does? They can answer questions on, the services available and how to qualify and what that all entails. They can provide technical assistance for members regarding employment. They do educate the community and staff on employment services and bring awareness to that Employment First initiative we have in our state. They can attend meetings, so they can be there for your person-centered planning meetings to help as you're creating your goals for the year with DDD and figuring out services and supports. They can review and process referrals to VR, and they can also authorize the DDD employment services that are needed for that individual. So we're going to talk about those next. Something to note, typically DDD employment services are ongoing once VR has been completed. And then vocational rehab services are time limited. They're really helping you prepare and find employment, or DDD employment services are taking it from there and helping the individual succeed at work and be able to be out in the community and work and have services and help to help them do that. Members who are DDD and alt-text eligible can take advantage of these services with DDD. So the first one we're going to discuss is called Individual Supported Employment, or ISE. This is in place to help DDD members who are alt-text eligible who have completed a vocational rehabilitation program to find jobs that earn competitive wages while working for an employer for the community. So, wages will be paid by the employer. They can provide job coaching supports for that person. They can help with job search services. They also can find approve an employment support aid. So if you or your young person needed an aid with you to be able to go to work to help you with your personal care needs or behavioral needs or job coaching type skills, DDD can approve an employment support aid to go with the individual to work. Another service that DDD offers in regards to employment is group supported employment. So this provides on-site supervision to a small group of DDD members working in a community setting. So a DDD member would have a job, work in the community, whether it's hospitality, retail, private businesses, hospitals, restaurants, clerical work, the list is endless. But group supported employment would be, in a group setting, there would be a job coach there to help supervise and provide guidance and assist that member in work-related skills. Not only does this person have the ability to work and be paid for it, they'll gain social skills, be out in the community, make friends. And the DDD member may be paid by the DDD service provider or the employer. But this group-supported employment is a great way for our teens and young adults with disabilities to get out into the workforce and have that ongoing support. I'd encourage you to check out DDD's website. They have a great section on all of their employment supports with some really helpful videos. Super easy to understand with all the appropriate links. So definitely check out our resource post with all the links in it and refer to that website. So it can be kind of confusing, when people call Raising Special Kids and are trying to figure out how to help their young person find a job. Vocational rehab, DDD, who does what do they offer? Sometimes it can be hard to break it down. So I'm going to break it down for you. So just to clarify things, vocational rehab helps a client prepare for competitive employment in the community. All the planned services must support the attainment of a specific job goal. They serve all people with disabilities that qualify regardless of all-text eligibility. And the services are time limited. So that's VR. Now, DDD employment services are usually long-term, ongoing services and supports. They help that person maintain employment, and they aim to help that person achieve their life goals, and it's for all text eligible members only. So that kind of breaks it down to keep it simple. Hopefully that clarified things. Now, services for youth are also available, and they're called pre-employment transition services. So vocational rehab networks and communicates with our local high schools and youth and transition specialists at all the high schools to get, young adults with disabilities starting to thinking about jobs and employment in their future. And there are programs that teens can take advantage of. They're available to any student with a disability age 14 to 22, and they can be conducted virtually or in person. They do not have to be VR clients yet to get, pre-employment transition services, and it can start in high school. So it's a really great opportunity. If you are interested in this for your teen, make sure you talk to your DDD support coordinator. They will help facilitate that with VR, or talk to your transition specialist or IEP team at the high school. Some of those services can include instruction on self-advocacy, job exploration and counseling, work readiness training, work-based learning, life skills, counseling on post-secondary education and vocational options, and more. It's a really great opportunity to get started, so we encourage you to encourage your teenagers to check that out, and you can help them do that by reaching out to Raising Special Kids with your questions, of course, or talking with their IEP team and the transition specialist at the high school and letting their DDD coordinator know that they're interested in that as well. There are a ton of resources, being that Arizona is an employment-first state, for families. So please check out our link in the comments with that document. We have the links to, Voc Rehab, so you can find out all the information online. Arizona at Work, Arizona Disability Benefits 101. That's a really great website because it talks about Social Security benefits and how individuals can work and still receive SSI. It just depends. There's a formula that goes into that, but it's a really great website that has a lot of information regarding SSI and employment. There's a job accommodation network, Employment First, and what that means for Arizona, and more. So I know this was a broad overview, but we hope today it gave you information on, what vocational rehab is, the potential services, what the employment services are through the Division of Developmental Disabilities, and how to access them. But of course, as always, if any of you need assistance, please reach out to Raising Special Kids. Our information is in the comments. We would love to help you. And with that, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.